it's like, a dog smells the fear and attacks because it's upsetting to the animal. Same thing with a prospect.
Welcome back, all my followers. It's great to have you with me again, and I've got a treat for you today. Here we have Bob Terson, and Bob's an old friend of mine from Chicago. Happens to be in Sydney on holidays, so I've pulled him in front of the camera, sitting in his motel room here. We've had a great 2 days together. Welcome, Bob.
Thank you, John. I have had a marvelous time in Sydney. And that cricket game you took me to, that was the piece de resistance.
I really don't know that Bob knew how to spell the word cricket before yesterday. I mean, I took him to an Australia versus England one-day match, and I think you learned a few things.
Oh, I did. I know what an over is now.
And wickets and sticky wickets and whatever. So welcome along, Bob, and look, I'm really, really delighted to have you here. I avidly read your blog. Bob is, in my mind, he's a real thinker and thought leader around sales, leadership, how we as people, just ordinary everyday people, how they can improve themselves and so on. And I love your content. And above all, he's written a book called Selling Fearlessly. Great book.
Thank you.
Let's start by talking about that book a little bit and the reason behind you writing it and why you called it Selling Fearlessly.
Well, I wanted to, when I retired, I wanted to write a book. I wanted to contribute. I wanted to give back. I felt I had something to say with 40 years of experience. And I wanted to not tell people how to sell. I wanted to show them how by telling stories.
You're a great storyteller. I love the way you tell stories, Bob.
So, and I think I accomplished that. And I titled it Selling Fearlessly because it's been my experience, John, that all too many salespeople in this world put themselves instinctively in a subservient position to the prospect, which just doesn't work.
And why?
Because to be successful in selling, you must meet that prospect on a level, equal plane. You must be equals.
Peer to peer.
You can't be subservient. You cannot be dominant. The pendulum must be in the middle. You have to be that person's equal. You must be his or her equal to have that person's respect, to have that person understand that you're there to bring them value, to benefit them, to improve their lives. And you can only do that from a point of equality. And so I wanted to tell people, sell fearlessly. See yourself in an equal light to the people you do business with. You're entitled to that.
You know, that the way you've just said it then reminds me of what a friend of mine, Bernadette McClelland, and I know you know Bernadette.
Friend of mine too.
Bernadette talks about salespeople should stand in their power. And that really is part of positioning peer-to-peer, being confident in what you're doing, and knowing that you bring value to the other person and therefore behaving as a peer at a peer level to that person.
Yeah. Otherwise, you're begging, you're pleading, and that's a turnoff.
Absolutely.
Nobody wants to sit down with someone who is going to just be a lapdog.
Yeah. What they wouldn't even conceive you could bring value to me if you're just a lapdog there, other than maybe basic servitude type stuff.
Yeah. It doesn't work.
Yeah, okay.
And people, they're so afraid of that prospect, that customer, potential customer. There is this fear. And It's like, a dog smells the fear and attacks because it's upsetting to the animal. Same thing with a prospect. Very same thing.
I think it's a great message, and I'd like to come back and talk more about that. I think this is something we haven't talked a lot about with my audience, so I think they'll get a lot of value out of these discussions. I'd like you to have come back a number of times.
I'll be
we'll talk
thrilled
about related subjects to what you just talked about, some of the topics in your book, some of the topics you've written in your blog, and let's explore them a little bit more.
I would love to.
Okay.
I would love to.
So we'll get Bob back pretty soon and go through a number of other discussions on great sales subjects that I'm sure is going to bring a lot of value to the audience out there. Thank you very much. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you, John.